Yes.
Okay. First on the agenda.
Commission will now take up a matter to do with an application for public amusement for an event at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium. Thomas McKay, Mill City Management, Inc., Colleen McDonald is the representative. It'll be a show known as Three Mediums. It'll be for Thursday, June 25th, 2009, from 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay, introduce yourself, please.
Carleen McDonald.
Okay. What is
I have no questions, and I'll make the motion to go ahead and approve.
Hey, listen to this, huh?
She's
Okay.
been here once or
Motion
twice.
made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank
We're
you.
all set.
Commission will now take up matters to do with special one-day licenses for alcoholic beverages, starting with the applications for beer and wine only, or either one. Corey Belanger of the corporation known as CB Enterprises, doing business as Major's Pub. For events related to the Lowell Folk Festival 2009, there are 8 applications for the following venues. First being at the Boarding House Park in front of the Cotton Storehouse on French Street. Will be Friday, July 24th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, July 25th from 12 noon to 10 p.m., and Sunday, July 26th from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Also, there will be the site of the Dutton Street Dance Pavilion for Friday, July 24th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, July 25th from 12 noon to 10 p.m., and Sunday, July 26th from 12 noon to 6 p.m. And last would be the JFK Civic Plaza at Arcan Drive for Saturday, July 25th from 12 noon to 6 p.m., and Sunday, July 26th from 12 noon to 7 p.m. Also, we have application by Kathleen Kelly of Groovy Grove LLC for restaurant premises at 96 Merrimack Street with an enclosed outdoor seating area adjacent to the restaurant in conjunction with the Lowell Folk Festival. This would be for Friday, July 24th, 2009 from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Saturday, July 25th from 11 a.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 26th from 11 a.m. to 12 midnight. Heidi Feinstein of Life Alive Urban Oasis and Organic Cafe for the restaurant premises at 194 Middle Street, and an enclosed outdoor area adjacent to the premises for the Lowell Folk Festival for Friday evening, July 24th, 2009 from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., and Saturday, July 25th from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Also, Richard S. Barrett of Kilkenny Pub for Saturday, June 6, 2009 from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. The event is the Customer Appreciation Day within a tent-enclosed area at the parking lot adjacent to Kilkenny Pub at 660 Roger Street. We also have applications for special one-day license for all alcoholic beverages, starting with Frankie Dakota of Mambo Grill for an enclosed outdoor area adjacent to 129 Merrimack Street for the Lowell Folk Festival, for Friday, July 24th, 2009 from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, Saturday, July 25th from 11 a.m. to 12 midnight, and Sunday, July 26th from 11 a.m. to 12 midnight. Lastly, we have Antonia Agua of the Holy Ghost Society for events at Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street. Weekend of Saturday, June 20th and Sunday, June 21st is St. John Feast from 2 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Saturday, and from 12 noon to 1 a.m. on Sunday. There will be a wedding reception at the Holy Ghost Park on Saturday, July 11th from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. There'll be the Immigrant Feast for Saturday, July 18th from 12 noon to 1 a.m. Also, the Immigrant Feast for Sunday, July 19th from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's 10 p.m., not 10 a.m. Also, July 19th. There is a cancer benefit for Saturday, July 25th from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. A wedding reception for Saturday, August 1st from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Portuguese American Center picnic is Sunday, August 16th from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. A wedding reception on Saturday, August 22nd from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. And last is the Holy Ghost picnic for Sunday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay, could you be kind enough just to introduce yourself, step up to the mic, introduce yourself for the record?
Corey Belanger, Major's Pub.
Richard Barrett, Kilkenny Pub.
Matthew Dakota, Mambo Grill.
Antonio Aguiar, Holy Ghost.
Katie Kelly, Groovy Grub.
Heidi Feinstein, Life Alive.
Okay. How many of you have been before us before? Okay, one. We got one. Okay. All right. A couple of things before I get started. You are on the board of directors of the park, I hope? Are you a director of the park, sir? You, I'm sorry. You're a director of the Holy Ghost. Yeah, okay. I noticed that you've got the majority of these events. It looks like 6 of them are outdoors with amplified sound. Okay?
We're going to control that.
We're going to control it. That's what I like to hear. We're going to control it. Okay? We don't want the neighbors down here, okay? And we want to be able to, keep the park going. But you got to realize, you got these things running till 1 o'clock in the morning. People with little children are not going to be happy, okay? Enough said on that. Okay. All of you are looking towards the folk festival. Just a couple of things, and just so everybody understands. Okay, number one, you've got to keep the sidewalk with a clear passageway for pedestrians. If you're using the sidewalk in front of your building, you must keep a clear passageway for the pedestrians to be able to pass. Also, you guys should be absolutely sure that a person in a wheelchair or needs help can get through easy enough with somebody pushing them in a wheelchair. And sometimes these things end up, and not necessarily you people, but folks go outside and they'll be sitting at your patio area, and also they start to think it's a little too crowded, so let's move the table over a little bit. We're too close to this one or that one. Now all of a sudden they block the walkway. Well, they don't understand that it's your license. It's not their license, it's your license. And if somebody can't walk by or go by in a wheelchair and they have a complaint, certainly we're not going to have any happy campers. So be aware of that while, things are going on, because hopefully they'll get a large crowd and people will be mobbed on the sidewalks and the streets, and they need to be able to get by. That's part of your responsibility when you get that license to use that outdoor area. You did guarantee the city that you were going to leave a safe way for pedestrians to be able to get by. Okay, we need for each and every one of you to know this is your liquor license. Okay, this is your license. Your name is going to appear on that license. Not your business, not your company, not the people you're raising money for. You. This is your liquor license. So that makes you responsible. Once you step outside in that arena outside, you've taken on a whole new set of problems. You've got to have whoever your waiting staff is, or people serving food, they've got to be ever vigilant. People giving somebody a drink when they walk by, or buying a couple, hey, buy me a beer, and they're outside your enclosed area. And you're responsible. It's that simple. You are, because there's a liability with using that area, there's a liability with serving alcohol, and once you step out in the outside arena, you're opening your door to that type of thing. So those of you that are going outside, which I think is a great idea, don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound negative on this at all. I think it's wonderful. You go downtown, you see the tables and the chairs and the people sitting down having a sandwich, or, and I hope the weather's wonderful and you just go like crazy. But you have to take into consideration that, number one, you're accepting additional liability, if you will, to yourself, and you're also, taking on more responsibility as far as policing it yourself, okay? Those of you that have a one-day license to serve outside, that license should be posted so that if there's a policeman or somebody comes by, There's no question as to where your license is and who. Always be careful of the people you put outside. They've got to be on their toes, they've got to be awake, they've got to be watching. They're guarding your interests. They're working for you, and you are giving them the responsibility of guarding your interests. Your sound, don't try, if you have amplified sound, don't try and compete with the guy down the street. Keep it in your area, remembering that people live in the downtown area, and most of the people live in the downtown area, or at least, from my understanding and talking to them at various meetings and whatnot, they like the excitement. They like the idea of the folk festival and people being in town and the music and the whole party-type atmosphere. But anything can go too far. Anything. So be aware of that. Make sure you know what's going on. Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay? Anybody got any questions? No questions? Yes. Okay. They don't know that yet. Okay. The secretary's reminding me to remind you that when I was talking about responsibility and keeping the sidewalk, you have to get an insurance policy to the secretary in order for the license to be issued to you. I would hope you're all aware of that. Everybody's aware of that, okay. So you have to have that before you get your license, all right? Thank you very much.
And if they would just stand by for the amplification permits application?
Well, I think I gave them okay. I kind of gave them the speech on the sound also.
Well, for the sake of the public.
Right, for the sake, stay right there so the public will know that you're going that you've already heard the speech, but we haven't read your names yet, okay? Go ahead, Brian.
This is specifically to do with their request for amplified outdoor public entertainment in accordance with the city's noise ordinance. Richard Barrett of Kilkenny Pub for Customer Appreciation Day will have a band with the sound system for Saturday, June 6th from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. This will be in a tent-enclosed area at the parking lot adjacent to Kilkenny Pub at 660 Roger Street. Groovy Grub, LLC, Kathy Kelly, manager for the local business event during the Lowell Folk Festival, a band with sound system for Friday, July 24th, Saturday, July 25th, and Sunday, July 26th, in an enclosed outdoor area in front of 96 Merrimack Street. Now, Mr. Chairman, just for the sake of those businesses involved with the Folk Festival, their hours for the operation of the amplified music will be contingent on the venues that host the Folk Festival mainstay as far as the Lowell Festival Foundation sponsoring of the various groups that come into the city from various parts of the country. Also, in addition, Mambo Grill, Frankie Dakota president for the Folk Festival, band with sound system for Friday, July 24th, Saturday, July 25th, and Sunday, July 26th, an enclosed outdoor area in front of 129 Merrimack Street. Life Alive, Heidi Feinstein, president for the Folk Festival weekend, music with sound for Friday, July 24th and Saturday, July 25th, an enclosed area out in front of 194 Middle Street. And also we have Mr. Antonio Aguiar for the Holy Ghost Society for outdoor events at the Holy Ghost Park. There will be 6 events where 4 of the 6 will have band with sound system, 2 to do with the St. John Feast, Saturday, June 20th, and Sunday, June 21st. There is the Immigrant Feast for Saturday, July 18th, and Sunday, July 19th, a band with sound system. Disc jockey with sound system for the Portuguese American Center picnic for Sunday, August 16th, and also the disc jockey for the sound system with sound system for the Holy Ghost picnic for Sunday, August 23rd.
Okay, I think that I already encompassed the sound system. You understand, moderation is a key word. Remembering that there are people that live in around your places of business, okay? I'll make a motion on the sound.
I'll make a motion
please.
to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes. All right, good luck.
Good luck.
Also, there are 3 applications for sidewalk stand permits. Humanity Lifestyles, Frankie Dakota representative for 128 Merrimack Street for July 24th, July 25th, July 26th. Also, Frankie Dakota representing the Monkeys, Inc. for 66 Merrimack Street, July 24th, July 25th, July 26th. And Barnes & Noble College Booksellers, Mania Callahan, manager, July 24th, July 25th, and July 26th.
Okay, introduce yourself for the record, please.
Manya Callahan, Barnes & Noble.
Okay,
Matthew Dakota, Humanity and Monkeys.
okay. Basically the same thing that I said. You need insurance to set up the stand and whatnot before the license can be issued. Be aware of the fact that the pedestrians have the right of way. Be sure that you leave enough area that somebody in a wheelchair or something be able to get by. Okay, and basically, hopefully it'll be a really sunny, nice day. Any questions?
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Luck.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we said that. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open a hearing on the application for the transfer of the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license from Mango Tango, Inc., doing business as Mango Tango Hot Pot and Grill, Sand Thatch, President, to AMA Restaurant LLC, Thu Quoc Vu, manager, for premises at 602-608 Merrimack Street. It is requested that Thu Quoc Vu be approved as manager of record for the AMA Restaurant LLC.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Sure. It's Craig Stelmach, counsel for Tuvu Ame Restaurant LLC, and currently the DBA, which is Asian Fusion Restaurant at 602 Merrimack Street.
Okay. All right, just so we get through. He's operating as a restaurant right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Currently.
Has he ever had the restaurant when it's had a liquor license?
He has, back in his country, in Vietnam, he came from Vietnam in 1993 to Lowell, and has
Yeah.
been a resident of Lowell since, with his wife and children.
Okay.
And he had run a restaurant in Vietnam, but not in the States.
But not Lowell?
Not Lowell,
And there's
no.
a little difference between, Okay. Well, go ahead. Have him just step up. We'd like to talk, okay? Have you ever been to a tips course? Or,
Yes, sir.
You have? Okay, where'd you take it?
I took it on April 7th.
Okay, very good. Okay. Go ahead.
Your establishment, what is it going to be? Is it just a restaurant, or Because historically, the Mango Tango has been a nightclub and has had some problems where they've had an officer detail most of the time on Friday and Saturday nights. Is that going to be your plan going forward, or are you just going to run it as a restaurant?
So the restaurant, we don't have the intentions of continuing down the lines. I am aware of the problems that they did have at that location. Mr. Mr. Vu has his family working there. His family is involved in the restaurant. They're not going to be running it the focus is not going to be on the bar. It's going to be on providing, quality food, and the liquor will be an accompaniment to the food that they're offering. They have no intentions of having large gatherings, and Mr. Tu is actually a federal employee and has been for several years, and so he is he's conscious of obeying the law and is not going to be looking to have an establishment that had similar problems to the Mango Tango.
Okay, what are your hours going to be?
The hours are going to be, because he's going to be offering some breakfast and coffee, he's going to go Monday through Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be from 8 a.m. till around 11 p.m. It's really going to be a focus. The focus is going to be more on family-style dining. They have a variety of items on there that are different than just traditional Vietnamese. They have a shabu-shabu, and they're doing kind of a blend of Asian and other, a blend of traditional Vietnamese dishes with some Chinese dishes, things like that, and doing kind of a fusion. And then it's kind of a family-style gathering with the shabu-shabu. So they're really looking to cater to families, more than they are people who just want to come in and drink at the bar. Although obviously the liquor license would allow that, but that is not the focus of the establishment.
Okay. How long have you been operating it now?
Yes, I opened it in May 10.
May 10th.
When?
May 10th.
May 10th?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's business been?
Slowly picking up.
Okay.
Did we check any? Captain Webb? Is there any?
There's no record, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. The only fear, and I'm, glad my fellow commissioner brought it up, what happens, and it just happens, okay? Places get a reputation. And sometimes, no matter whether they change hands or, it just seems that for some reason they can't get out of that situation, okay? And so a new owner comes in, and right away he's wondering, where did all these people come from? How did they get here? Okay? Unfortunately, they were there before he got there, okay? And that's, I think, what Commissioner Occasion's referring to, is that can create problems for you above and beyond your control. Once you step into the alcohol arena, okay? Once you step into that arena, you're multiplying your liability and your problems by 100%. Because unfortunately, there's so many people out there today that are trying to slip that false ID, and they have access to the computers and everything. So if you keep a hard and fast, we have right now a whole list of them right here. Okay, these are all people that have been in the business for years. You can't make it's not necessarily this gentleman, but he steps out to go to the kitchen to get something, somebody orders a drink. The person that he orders it from isn't trained properly. Bang, there you go, And that's what happens in so many of these cases. It's not necessarily the owner, it's one of the employees or a waiter or a waitress, whatever it is. And, they don't check, because only the owner puts that kind of dedication into running a business. Okay, so, family businesses are great, but we've had you know, unfortunately, we've had people that came in, my nephew sold, my cousin sold, you know, and you gotta say, you know, I don't wanna be at a family reunion when all these show up, because they're not gonna be a happy camper, because I'm gonna lose a few days, you know, so.
Absolutely.
You need to know that, okay? All right, I'm quite pleased to find out that you already took the course. You know, that says an awful lot for you. And I congratulate you for taking that initiative and doing it. Because that says to me that you don't want to make any mistakes. Commissioner White.
No, I'll just reiterate, be careful of fake IDs. I had one downtown establishment owner tell me that by the end of March, they were up to 200 fake IDs that they had confiscated. So they're out there. Just be wary of them. You took the course, so you know what to look for, which is good.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Yes. Okay,
luck.
now, you realize that has to be sent down to Boston, and has to go through DOR, so I don't know what the, you know, tax issues and all the rest of that, okay?
We're prepared.
Okay.
Right.
We're aware of them and prepared to pay. There's a small
Now-
amount that has to be paid.
If they allow the transfer, okay, how are we gonna do that? Because we set this license aside, right? With the secretary. I need somebody with some semian. How do we do this if once they're gonna send it to Boston, say Boston sends it back? Do we have to have another meeting before we can give them their license, or can we pull that off the shelf?
Well, the only reason Boston would refer it back to the local board would be if the issue with regards to Department of Revenue can't seem to be resolved.
Right,
It holds up the ABC's approval of the transfer.
right. What I'm wondering is if they say yes, if they approve it, if they approve the transfer.
I'm sorry, yeah, that would...
Do we have to have another meeting, or we just?
No.
we give it to them?
I would notify
Okay,
the attorney and the manager of record for the business of this approval.
okay? You understand that? Because we didn't cancel the license is just sitting in limbo, okay?
Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan.
Have a good afternoon.
Good luck to you.
Next on the,
Commission will now take up open the hearing on an application by a corporation known as New Bliss, Inc., DBA Garcia Brogan, Ronald Brogan, President, for a license for all alcoholic beverages restaurant, license for common vitler, license for entertainment for live music disc jockey jukebox, for premises at 131 Middlesex Street, Unit Number 5. This particular application required a publication of a legal notice. In addition, abutters to be notified in a church, school, or hospital within 500 feet. The attorney representing the applicant, New Bliss, Inc., Attorney George Elides, saw to it that the proper notices be sent to the abutters with affidavit. Presently, Attorney George Theodore is here on behalf of Attorney Elides.
okay. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
George Theodore, 133 Market Street, appearing on behalf of the applicant.
Okay.
And
Ronald Brogan, President.
And just by way of introduction, this will be a DBA. The name of the establishment will be Garcia Brogan's, which they intend to open up a Spanish-Irish restaurant at 131 Middlesex Street. It's the first business that is going to open in the new retail space of the parking garage on Middlesex Street.
The early garage.
And the early parking garage, yes. And they built out a restaurant there, a beautiful-looking establishment. They've entered into a 10-year lease with the city of Lowell. Mr. Brogan has had 10 years of experience in the business of running. Right now, he runs 2 other restaurants. One is a restaurant in Salem, Mass., and another in Malden, with alcohol licenses in each of those establishments. So he has a great deal of experience in this business, and his primary focus is going to be, his sole focus is going to be on this startup business where they have a substantial investment in the restaurant.
Okay. How do you get, what did you say it was going to be, Mexican and Irish?
It's going to be a Spanish-Irish restaurant.
So is that like green rice?
Well, he has a He has an interesting menu.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Besides the restaurants, how long, where do you live?
I live in Walpole, Massachusetts.
Okay. And are you you're gonna be the manager of this yourself, or you're gonna have a manager? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to be the manager here for the start off, and my business partner, Hervey Garcia, he is not a U.S. citizen as of yet. He's going to be probably a citizen within 6 months or a year, and he's going to be the manager on record. But he's also going to be the manager there as well as I'm going to be the manager there for the first year to make sure we get up and running and get everything ironed out with the problems that arise.
How many times have you been caught at the other restaurants?
Have been caught?
Yeah. Serving to a minor?
Once in Salem and once in Malden.
Once. How long ago?
The one in Salem was probably, I could say, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and Malden probably the same.
Okay. Are you tips trained?
Yes, we're all tips trained.
Okay.
All the owners and the staff managers are all tips trained.
Okay, let's just stop for a second. Anybody here to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? That portion of the hearing's closed. Anybody to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That nobody's in favor of it either. You're in tough shape. I never understood that. We say, if I was going to open a restaurant, I need a liquor license, I'd be on the telephone calling all my friends, come down and tell them what a great guy, please. But, so you obviously have plenty of experience.
Yes.
Okay, obviously, your background is, are you familiar with that part of the neighborhood?
I am this last, probably 6 to 8 months. It's an interesting neighborhood, but it is coming up. The restaurant, the sandwich shop next door to us is doing a great business.
Yeah.
The next door down from us, Unit 4, there's a dentist moving in. And then next Unit 2, I think there's a police academy. There's a police training academy moving in.
Yes.
So
the police academy is moving over the early garage?
That's my understanding, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's something like 50.
That's going to probably be a
60.
tremendous asset to you being there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because you do have a shelter at the other end of the street.
Yes, I'm familiar with that, yeah.
And, one of the things that I think that I would say to you would be that, and we try to tell everybody that, Lowell is a great community, okay? I mean, there's no, and the police department, all you've got to do is pick up the phone and call, say, I need some help. You know what? If you call and you say, I need some help, they're not going to write anything up and have you in here because you call the police department. They're going to appreciate the fact that you made a call and called them.
Right.
And asked them to come in. And they'll help you out. It's only when you let things get out of hand and then you call. Well, then it's too late. It's kind of like when you call a lawyer,
It's a bit
before
too late.
you need him. If you think you need him, probably you should call him ahead of time.
Right.
Okay? They love it too, He's smiling. Okay? So, that's one of the things I want, you'll be new in the city and get to know the policemen that are up there on the beat, get to know the policemen that are covering the sector, get to know the chief, get to know those people. They're going to be your friends.
Right.
They're going to help you out in business, okay?
Yeah, for when we open, we're going to have an officer on detail to make us familiar with what the surroundings are and whatnot.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions?
Nope, I think it's great that you're making a commitment to the city of Lowell.
10
And I
years.
like the way you describe the neighborhood as interesting. That's a good way to describe it. So good luck, and I would have no objections to approving the license.
I have no objections, and I'll go ahead and make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Okay.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We're watching for you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And when are you opening?
Probably late June to early July. We're shooting for late June with the contractors, but realistically, I think it could be first or second week of July.
So you might actually be open in time for the folk festival, right?
Hopefully.
Excellent.
All right, thank you. Good luck. All right, thanks.
This
city wants it open.
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open a hearing on the allegations of misconduct is charged by the Superintendent of Police, Kenneth LaValle, against the licensee, retail package store Kompong Tom Market, Inc., doing business as Appleton Liquors. Cheng Tel is the manager of record. All alcoholic package goods store licensee at 171 Appleton Street.
Introduce yourself for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney Steve Panagiatakis, representing Mr. Tell.
Okay. Do you want the complaint read into the record?
No, we asked that it be waived.
Okay.
Detective,
In your own words, Captain Webb, could you just, for the viewing audience, just tell them what the complaint is? And, you know, we'd have to read it.
Mr. Chairman, Lieutenant Hodgson is here to present the case for the police department.
Oh, it's okay. Could you step? Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good.
Lieutenant James Hodgson, Lowell, please.
Okay.
On Thursday, March 26, 2009, myself and Detective Desolitz sent a female under the age of 21 into 19 liquor stores in the city of Lowell to conduct alcohol compliance checks. As a result of the 19 compliance checks, one store failed the compliance checks. That's Appleton Liquors at 171 Appleton Street here in the city. We sent the female in there, 20-year-old female in the store, with no identification, money supplied by us, and upon entering the store, she left the store approximately 2 minutes later carrying a brown paper bag. Upon return to our location, she was able to buy a 6-pack of Miller Lite beer without producing any form of identification. She explained that she was not asked for any identification by the clerk working there. She described the clerk to us. Myself, Detective Dustless, then entered the liquor store, identified the clerk by his Massachusetts driver's license, and informed him that he sold to a minor a 6-pack of light beer in the last few minutes. And he was informed that that him or the store may be notified in the future for a hearing. Those are basically the facts of
Okay.
the incident.
Tell me, was he cooperative with you?
Yes, we asked him for identification. He supplied identification, and we informed him of the violation.
Okay, was it this gentleman here or somebody that works for him?
I believe it was somebody who's working with Harry, I can't pronounce his last name, Huth.
Okay. But he was cooperative, he didn't...
The clerk, yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have any questions? Okay.
I have no questions.
When was the last time you got caught?
I believe he was here in 2007.
In 2007?
Right, because that's only 2 years ago.
Okay. I'd like to know, his situation with the clerk that
Yes.
sold.
I mean, there were some mitigating circumstances with regards to this day. The usual clerk is a female. The gentleman that happened to be behind the register is the gentleman who takes care of the stock. Her father has been sick during this period of time. She was going home for 2 or 3 hours to take care of her father. He was filling in. Unfortunately, that's not his usual responsibilities, and he did not follow the proper rules and policies of Mr. Tell's store. And because of that, a thorough and we would say fair investigation by the detectives, Hodgins and Desolus, certainly the facts are true, and Mr. Tell is not here to dispute those at all, but other than to say they were cooperative. He is no longer allowed to get behind the register to ring anything. He can move stock back there, but that's about it.
Okay.
I'm going to guess that the clerk was a pretty young guy.
How old is he? No, I don't think he's too young.
Over 40.
Yeah, no, he's not. It's not a young guy. It's just that he has had the wife has been doing it, when she had to leave. Yeah, he really didn't have much experience along that area. He wasn't really supposed to. It was more of a, an emergency type of situation with the father being sick and her having to leave to take care of him.
Okay.
Okay.
Have we had any other problems with this package store, Captain Webb?
No, other than the 2 incidents within the last 2 years, none.
I think what we should do is probably give a couple of days suspended and suspend them for 6 months and put the complaint on file. You know, certainly you can have problems. Anybody can make a mistake. 2000, how many times have you been checked that you haven't been caught?
I've been checked on and off, like in the morning, few hours, and in the afternoon, few hours.
No, when have they come in to check you before, this type of thing?
They've been in to check you before?
Yeah, they did.
And
We passed.
you passed?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the same. My recollection is that generally our package stores have done pretty well, generally. Or at least
Okay.
better than the bars that are in those checks.
Why don't we make a motion to suspend his license for 2 days and suspend that for 6 months, keep the complaint on file. All right?
I'll second that.
All right. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
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 Mr.
Okay,
Chairman,
if you explain
member
it to
of
him
the board.
after 6 months, it's
Yep.
gone.
Yes,
You know, it won't be held against him or anything, but
we understand.
And
seems like we're getting a rash of them lately.
Yep.
You know, and we gotta, okay?
No, he understands the seriousness of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
take care.
Next. Oh, I thought he went out for lunch.
Mr. Chairman, we have several communications, certainly from the Superintendent of Police, Kenneth LaValle. Communications dated May 22nd, 2009. There are 4 complaints, and they affect the following licensees. And these are matters that the board needs to schedule hearings on, starting with a corporation known as Gerald B. Hickey, Inc., doing business as Lucian P. Turcott and Sons, all alcoholic beverages package goods store licensee at 412, 424 Lawrence Street. Genario Pereira is the manager of record. We also have complaint from the superintendent regarding a corporation known as DNY Corp., DBA Jerry's Food Store Number 2, 207 University Avenue, Bhupendra Patel, manager. This is a beer and wine package store licensee. Also, this matter, as the previous one, affects the matter of sale to a minor. Lowell Police Department had conducted a compliance check. The third complaint from the superintendent affects an all-alcoholic package goods store licensee, M&B and Sons Liquors, Inc., 36 Concord Street. Manuel V. Carrera is the manager of record. This is commonly referred to as Belvedere Wine, a Belvedere package store. And last is sole proprietor by the name of Vijay Patel, doing business as Jerry's Food Store at 1172 Lawrence Street. This licensee is a beer and wine package store licensee, also alleged to have sold to a minor.
What's the next meeting?
The board is scheduled to meet Thursday, June 11th at 3 o'clock, and then we have a follow-up meeting in the month of June on June the 25th, 3 o'clock.
How many days do we have between today and June 11th? We have 14.
Well, that matter to do with controlling hours and doesn't pertain to the package stores.
Right.
But so it's a matter of, did you want to break it down to 2 or 1 or however, as opposed to all 4?
Okay,
We have, I can just.
You got 2 package stores and 2 varieties.
Beer and wine.
Well,
Beer and wine.
you have, yeah, and for the sake of, for the board to appreciate what's happening here is that Hickey Package Store, the all-alcoholic package store at 412 Lawrence Street, is no stranger to the complaint
Right.
against, and also the Belvedere Wine Package Store, M&B and Sons, has also been brought before the board on a similar complaint. Both are all-alcoholic package store licensees. And also, I want to bring to the board's attention a concern that the License Commission Office has with respect to the licensee at 412 Lawrence Street. The corporation, Gerald V. Hickey, Inc., is at present a dissolved corporation. last November of 2008. In December of 2008, the matter of the dissolution of that corporation was addressed by the licensing board to the manager of record. And at that time, the manager, with attorney, communication from the attorney representing him at the time, assured the board that there would be an application forwarded on a transfer of license. To date, that application has yet to be filed. Just want to remind the board of that situation, because that's certainly part and parcel of what we're dealing with this licensee. M&B Liquors, Belvedere Wine has, this will be, I believe, the third time it'll be before the License Commission on a complaint.
Yeah, this is the one.
Why don't we bring in the two
Package stores and liquor stores on the 11th.
and the two variety stores on the 25th?
Can we suspend them if we bring them on the 11th?
Yeah.
We have enough time?
There's no...
The time is only for
You can-
restaurants.
yeah, that's-
Oh, all right, okay.
My
Yeah,
mistake a moment
bring
ago.
them all in, there's only 4 of them.
I was going to say, I think I'd prefer Commissioner Occasions, because we've got two all alcohols who've been before us several times, and I'd like to bring those in on the same day. And I think we've got two variety stores who,
First time.
both would be first offenders.
Yeah, but see, that's the injustice of, I mean, I don't have a problem, you want to separate them, but I have myself personally, I have a problem, you know, first of all, we have, you know, 2 all alcoholic license that yes, you're right, and they're in the business. But, you know, I said this at the beginning, and I will say it again. You've got variety stores selling, you know, beer and wine now. Now, they sold to a minor. We take the beer and wine, you know, like hypothetically, if you suspend their license for beer and wine, they still can make a living. Okay? And the guys that have dedicated their lives to running a package store and a good, solid operation, if you suspend their license, they're out of business. They don't make any. And so, I myself personally, I feel like I hold a variety store to a much higher standard, in the sense that you know, they can put this away and they can still earn a living. They're gonna, you know, if you want to separate them, there's no problem at all. I'll second his motion. Bring the 2 package stores in on the 11th and the 2 beer and wines on the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, my concern's not whether they're package stores versus variety stores. It's more that they're repeat offenders versus first offenders.
Okay.
So I think that we're looking at, you know, more serious cases.
Yeah.
And also, the standard should always be the same.
Excuse me?
Just to be clear, the standard should always be the same. That
It
there
should
shouldn't-
be. I agree with you
Okay,
wholeheartedly,
well,
but it's not.
It is. The standard should be the same for anyone coming before, whether or not they have prior disciplinary actions. That's something that can be factored in. But as far as finding a violation or not, it should always be the same standard.
So,
we can consider the fact that they've had other violations again while they've been in business.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think what he's just reminding us that when we hear the evidence to determine whether or not there was a violation, the same standard applies for everybody as to
Oh,
whether they
absolutely, yeah.
violated. You know,
Okay.
outcomes can be based on histories.
So for purpose of a notification for public hearing on the complaint against Gerald V. Hickey, Inc., that'll be heard on June the 11th. Also, with respect to M&B Liquors, Inc., that will be heard on June the 11th. With respect to V.J. Patel, and which is Jerry Food Store, 1172 Lawrence Street, and Jerry's Food Store number 2, 207 University Ave, both of which will be heard on at June 25th.
Okay.
Okay.
And can we also, with respect to the dissolved corporation, which is now a legal non-entity in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, can we give them some kind of notice regarding, well, let's be honest, we've got a liquor license that's issued to a non-existent party. So we have a problem, I think. Does the city concur on that?
A non-legal entity can't have a license.
Well, hypothetically, what happens if today someone sues them as a result of a negligent act? on the part of this liquor store, couldn't they come after the city for allowing them to have a license when they're not an entity?
No, issuing a license, 258, Section 10 lists all the things for which municipality can't be held liable for. One of them is the issuance of any type of license. That wouldn't be an issue because the city has sovereign immunity from something like that. It would be interesting to see how they go after the entity itself, but that wouldn't be something the city legally would be responsible for, though it's something, you know,
Yeah,
the
but if
board may
we-
want to address from.
But it's probably not
But
the
if we
best.
if we have knowledge of it,
I mean, shouldn't we suspend their license right now?
and we have knowledge that there's no corporation
If
yet.
there's no corporation, the license should have terminated when the corporation dissolved.
I mean, my understanding, if I recall, I mean, we were talking about this back in November or December, and that corporation itself had was dissolved by the Secretary of Corporations in the early 1990s. So it's been dissolved for some 15 years, is if I'm remembering the right date. And I think there is another corporation doing business at the same location, but not holding a license.
I wasn't here for that
Okay, no,
meeting.
that is
but
my recollection
if-
from that meeting.
If there is no legal entity, they can't have a license, period. I don't think you have to suspend or revoke the license. I think you just take the license because there's no one capable of possessing it. Because nothing exists.
So should we just have the police department go and get the license?
I would think so, because we have knowledge of it now. I mean, I think it was different when we passed the license, because we were reassured the corporate papers would be delivered. But we have knowledge that it had, I think, don't you think we're really?
I mean, do we know that they don't have a license? I mean, that they're
They
a
don't-
dissolved business? Do we know that?
Yes,
If they're
that
a
was actually,
dissolved business, then.
that issue was raised in December.
This should go, to me, this is similar in the past where people haven't, paid their taxes
Yeah.
and their applications lapse. It's like, well, they don't have a license.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't exist can't have a legal license.
Shut them down then.
So is it proper, like, to make a motion to ask the police department to pick up the license?
Yes. Because they
Okay.
can't, I mean, they
I'll
shouldn't
make
have.
the motion. Make a motion that we ask the police department to pick up the license and to inform him that he cannot sell alcoholic. This is the one on Lawrence Street now, right? Right?
Turcot Liquors.
For the package store that's known as Turcot's at 412, 424 Lawrence Street is a corporation,
Right.
Gerald V. Hickey, Inc., a corporation that has been dissolved, and there's been no attempt on the part of the principal owner, Mr. Pereira, to reinstate that corporation, nor has he sought to have that license transferred to another corporation,
Okay.
a valid corporation.
And the license is in the corporation's name.
That's correct. In fact, the communication was sent to Mr. Pereira last December of 2008 pertaining to his renewal application, which he filed during the month of November, as state law requires. He was advised of the fact that the corporation was dissolved. An attorney representing his interest forwarded the communication to the License Commission, stating that there was going to be some research necessary to acquire the previous information from another counsel, legal counsel, and pending that, then they would file the application. We're now into the 5th month of the new calendar year. There's been no communication from the corporation Hickey or from the principal in that entity, or for that matter, the attorney that was representing Hickey's interest or Pereira's interest at the time. To address that, I communicated on behalf of the License Commission to the attorney and copied that communication to Mr. Pereira in March of 2009, reminding them of their responsibility. There's been no forward communication.
Okay, I'll make a motion and pick it up.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Captain Webb, can you take care of that, please?
I think probably I'm going to have to do a communication for the sake of the police to go in there to take that license forthwith.
I mean, on one hand, yes, that makes sense, but on the other hand, I don't know who you legally give it to because the corporation's dissolved, but it can't hurt to have some
Something in
letter
writing.
to give to something, but again,
Okay.
they don't exist.
Okay. One other thing before we go, okay. When we get a complaint like this that we know, and if this is a lot, you know, say so. I'm not trying to put you on the spot for this. But my thought would be that if we get a complaint like, you know, that we know that they've had problems before, is there any way you could, like, attach a paper to let us know what complaints they had and what the finding was? You know, so we can make you know, because I think there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No, I certainly agree. I'm sorry I don't have that for you at the
No,
moment.
no, that's okay. I
These
just
are matters
wanted
that
to-
will come before you.
Exactly, and sometimes the names keep coming, and you don't, you know, put one to the other, and you know. Okay. The only other thing, we had talked at some point in time about secondhand gold, and it seems like every time you're driving around, there's more and more places in the city of Lowell buying gold. Are we following through on that?
Yeah, we are trying to keep up with all of them. There's a variety of licenses. There's several secondhand licenses, some pawn licenses. I think there's even a couple of licenses for dealers in precious metals. So we do inspect them on a regular basis, and we try to make sure that they keep up with their requirements to notify us of all their sales and pawns and all the property that they do take in. I was prepared to give you some information on the business at 64 Lakeview Ave that had been the subject of a request for a transfer of the license at the last hearing, but I didn't see the young lady here today, so I assume that she didn't follow through so far with a request to be heard today on the transfer.
That was the one where she was giving it to her sister or something?
Her mother.
Well, that's
Her
a matter
mother?
that's been
Yeah.
continued to June
To the next
25th.
meeting, right.
Okay.
June 25th.
June
Okay.
25th, Captain Webb?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I think there was one other thing that we did talk about when we were on that topic the other day as we were going to try and punt a legal question to the law department as to whether or not the city can require a query check for anybody getting into the business of dealing in secondhand items, you know, used gold,
Especially
so that we
gold.
don't have anybody out there who's got convictions for, say, receiving stolen property, now dealing in, you know, secondhand items.
In order for the License Commission to have access to quarry information, it either have to be set by statute, either the quarry statute or the enabling statutes that allow, off the top of my head, I know there are 3 areas where the License Commission does have access to quarry. If this doesn't fall on it, you could request access to it from the state. That would be the way that you could actually access the quarry.
It seems, you know, it just seemed like, and nothing against those people, but it just seems that there's an awful lot of people out there buying gold. I mean, they have all these crazy ads on television, but you drive around and their windows, it's, you know, people, and we have no way of knowing. I mean, I know the police department follows through on it, and we've talked about that, but we have no way of knowing who's sitting there buying this stuff and getting rid of it, you know? And if they came for a license, at least if we had some way of knowing that, you know.
The police have access to quarry, and they're allowed to do investigations. The question is, what could be disseminated to you? Again, I'd have to look at the statute to see what it
Okay.
allows, but it may require, you know, asking for quarry clearance for used or secondhand gold merchants, or whatever you want to, whatever you're calling it.
And I mean, that's just my concern. We're dealing with anything from, say, you know, pawn shops to, you know, used items, gold, whatever the case may be. You know, I wouldn't really care if they had an operating after suspension on their record. I'd be more interested in the receiving stolen property issues.
Yeah.
So, right. again, I'd have to look at the statute on the pawn shops to see what it says. But if there's something that talks about, because again, the police can do investigations, whether someone's qualified or unqualified. Again, I'd have to see what the statute says in terms of what's the criteria that can be accepted. I mean, I'd have to look at that.
Okay.
That's why we're punting it out as a, see, we get to leave and, come back in a couple of weeks and ask you how you're making out.
Anything?
No, I have nothing.
Anything else?
Nothing else. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Coming home, Benjamin.